ערב שבת שלום. ברשות הרב, שיחיה לאריכות ימים ושנים. A person that's devoted the lev hanefesh to this beautiful kehillah. Hashem yarich yamav batov shnotav b'ne'imim. We are entering into the greatest Shabbat of the year, Shabbat HaGadol. Shabbat HaGadol is not a coincidence. It's a name that was adapted from Kelal Yisrael, that this is the greatest Shabbat of the year. And one of the greatnesses of this Shabbat is that all the shefa, all the beracha, all the blessings that we have this coming week, it's rooted in Shabbat Kodesh. And not only is it rooted in the Shabbat Kodesh, the Kiddushav Shabbat, but the whole Kiddushav Yomei HaPesach haba alenu letova, bekarov, bebriut, is all rooted in Shabbat. But then, at the end of the Haftarah that we're going to read this week, we read about Eliyahu HaNavi, Hinei Anochi Sholeach Lachem et Eliyahu HaNavi Lifnei Bo Yom HaGadol VaHaNorah. Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come before Hashem redeems us from our bitter galut, our galut that we have suffered for so many years. I was just reading an article that Josephus, the famous historian, was in Yerushalayim at the Tkufa of the Churban Bet HaMikdash HaSheni. And he said at that time, there were about 6 million Jews in the world. How many Chinese do you think there were at that time in the world? About 12 to 14 million. How many Chinese are there in the world today? 1.5 billion. How many Jews are there in the world today? 15 million, 12 million, 13 million, whatever it is. We should have at least had 750 million. And they only have how many children? One child. How many do we have? Average family, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what are we up to? 15 million. That's because of the Churban that happened to Kelal Yisrael physically and spiritually. Physically was the Churban of Kelal Yisrael, that the pogroms, inquisitions, Tachvetat, World War II, and then the spiritual destruction of intermarriage. They say a write-up that there must be in Europeans, 60 or 70% of Europeans have Jewish blood. 60% of Europeans have Jewish blood. It makes sense. We're only up to 14 million. Where's the other 740 million? So when we sit down to Leil HaSeder, we're going to sit down to Leil HaSeder and we start with going out of Mitzrayim. Going out of Mitzrayim was Hashem saved us from the 49th level of Tumah on the verge of reaching level 50. Hashem took us out. And I want to start off with a question of the Bat Ayin and his answer. And Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach will elaborate a little bit on it. We know that Yitziat Mitzrayim was something that was instituted by Hashem Yitbarach. It's called It'aruta Dele'ela. It'aruta Dele'ela, to explain it in a simple term, is you don't have to do anything from your perspective to get to that level. And the proof is that it says, Ze keli va'anvehu. The Midrash says that Shifcha al hayam ra'a yoter mi Yechezkel ben Buzi. This Shifcha, the Chadame, the cleaning lady, came to a level that she had clarity in God more than Yechezkel HaNavi. Could she be greater than Yechezkel HaNavi? Like the Baalei Musar say, the day after Kriyat Yamsuf, she became the same cleaning lady. Yechezkel HaNavi was so great. He was the greatest, one of the greatest prophets. Whole book, Yechezkel. The cleaning lady doesn't have no book. So what happened that she was able to see such great miracles that Yechezkel HaNavi wasn't able to see? Is because she got a gift. That's called Iturah de Le'ela. Hashem threw her a bone. Iturah de Letata means that you have to create your level. You have to create your greatness. You have to develop your character. So the Bat Ayin has a question. Pesach, we know, wasn't Itaruta de Letata. It wasn't our initiative. We were in the red. We were in the bottom of the pit. If we wouldn't have gone out, we would have reached level 50. So Hashem threw us a gift. Hashem threw us a bone. He said, I'm taking you out. I'm giving you a chance. Now you got to make it on your own. But I'm giving you a bone. And then we celebrate Pesach like we did something about it. We're sitting by Leila Seder, celebrating. What are you celebrating? What do you do? You didn't do nothing. It's Aruta de Leila. Why are you eating matzah? Why are you eating maror? What are you doing? What are you being part of this holiday? And he goes and he explains, this is the Chacham's question. Ma avodah azot lachem? What are you doing this for? What are you so excited about it? And he said that we answered the Chacham, Em aftirin ahara pesach afikoman. You know what that means? We tell him that after the Leila Seder, don't eat nothing. Keep the Leila Seder on your tongue. Keep the influence of Leila Seder, the way you felt the Kiddushah you felt by Leila Seder, keep it for the whole year. And to explain this a little bit, Paro went and told Moshe Rabbeinu, why do you need to take out the children out of Mitzrayim? What do you need the children for? People like to go to the vacation without the children. Children's a headache. Why is my child not good? It's the Rebbe's fault. You ask him, why did you educate the child? He says, I pay tuition. Somebody told me that once. So I pay tuition. So I said, but you don't think that you have a responsibility to educate your kids? He says, that's why I pay tuition for. So you make Baruch Shepitarani. Moshe Rabbeinu comes back and tells Paro, Ben arenu ubiskenenu nelech. Who are the most important things? Always you say the most important thing first. Who's the most important ones? The children. Ben arenu ubiskenenu nelech. Okay, Paro said to Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, you can go out of Mitzrayim. Take the children. But the money, leave here. Why do you got to serve God with money? Why do you got to serve God with money? Money is for vacations. Money is for Arizona, Acapulco, Cancun. Money is for Hashem. Money is for etrog, lulav, matzot. No, I got to buy the cheapest matzot. I got to buy the lulav Erev Pesach for $35. I can, but you went to Cancun. How much did Cancun cost you? Oh, well, I got a cheap ticket, $900 each. So, and that is the philosophy of Paro. Paro says money belongs there. You want to serve God, you don't need money to serve God. Moshe Rabbeinu comes back and says after Makat Choshech, B'tzonenu, b'fkarenu, b'arenu, b'skenenu, we're going. We serve God with everything. Whatever Hashem gives us, we serve God with that. During the year, we forget what it means to serve God with our children, with our money. Leila Seder, Shulchan Aruch brings down, you're supposed to take out your most beautiful utensils and put it on the table. That costs money. You have a beautiful silver bottle. What do you do with that silver bottle? On the table. Everything. People would just take out expensive china just to leave it on the table to beautify the Seder table. Why is that? Why all of a sudden Leila Seder we take out the money and we show it off? Usually people like to hide their money. Over here, most people they spend. You go to a goy and you tell them, you know, I buy a becher, a silver cup for $500, beautiful, like Kavod Yom Tov. Oh, how many times you use it? I use it once a year. That sounds crazy. Buy the most expensive cup for Shabbat. Use it every week. But when do we spend the most money? When it comes to Pesach. The most beautiful course. What do we focus on the whole Leila Seder? The children. V'gadatal bincha bayom ahu lemor. V'gadatal bincha. We care about the children. We care about the grandparents. I don't know how it's the custom over here, but I know by the Syrians, they always go the first days of Pesach to the father. And if the father and the other side, the girl side, live next to each other, always the first night is the father, second night the girl. Sukkot is different. Why is it like that? Because there's a mitzvah d'oraita v'gadata lebincha bayom ahu lemor. That means even an adult. And we have grandkids, and the mitzvah is to the grandkids. The most bonding that happens between the parents and the children, Leila Seder. I didn't understand it, but I see from my kids. They remember everything you do, the Leila Seder. They're extremely observant. Even if I do a stupidity that I don't realize, they realize it. That's the time that they bond with the parents, and parents go and they spend the money in Arizona and Acapulco in order that their kids don't remember Pesach. They go and spend money that they don't remember Pesach. It's a sin. You want to go the second days. But to go the first days, this is the time you bond with your child. And then we want to know why our children are not following our footsteps. Because in Acapulco they run wild, they do whatever they want. The connecting with the children, that Paro wanted to detach us from our parents. Like the Rishayim today in the media. Like the Rishayim that they don't want the parents should have influence on the education of their children in schools. Shem Yishmerem. Shem Yishmerenu. They want to destroy our children. They're talking like Paro. Communism, Marxism. Kibbutzim, what did they do? At 2 years old, they separated the children from the parents. Chinuch doesn't happen from the parents. The street has to educate you. You got to be a gangster. That's chinuch. So the Leila Seder teaches us, and we feel the connection that money and our children are together in our Avodat Hashem. Right after we reach that epitome of understanding and feeling. Contrary to what Paro said. Paro said, leave your children, leave the money. And we answered by Leila Seder, no. We are serving you with the money and with the children. And everything that I have in my life is only Favodat Hashem. We come to the Leila Seder after Birkat HaMazon. What do? We pour the kos for Eliyahu HaNavi. We pour the kos for Eliyahu HaNavi. Once a guy came and he told Rabbi, I just prepared a beautiful wedding for my daughter, the Rockley. I spent just on the flowers $100,000. So the rabbi says, what happens when Mashiach comes? He says, Rabbi, I hope Mashiach doesn't come. Now, I just spent so much money on this wedding. Ay. So what did he think? That his money is to have fun, not to serve Hashem. If we're going to ask for Eliyahu HaNavi before Leila Seder, we are not going to understand what we're asking for. The epitome of what we want to reach on Leila Seder, like the Bat Ayin says, of En Maftirin Achar HaPesach Afikoman, we want to have that good taste. You know what that good taste means? The good taste of serving Hashem with your children and your money. Children is not to leave hefker. Your money is not to have fun. The money is to serve Hashem, and your children is to educate them to serve Hashem. Once you come to that realization, what is the pasuk? What is Eliyahu HaNavi going to do? Eliyahu HaNavi has two names. One is Eliyahu HaNavi, he's a prophet, and one is Eliyahu HaTishbi. What is Tishbi? A prophet doesn't answer halachot. For the halachot, you go to Rav Saban. But a prophet could tell you, Ma Yikireh. For that, you can't go to the rabbi. He can't tell you what's he's not a prophet. Eliyahu HaNavi is going to be, I think Tziponovich Rav said this. He's a prophet that he's going to say what's going to be. And Tishbi, he's going to answer all the questions. Like the Gemara in, where's the Gemara? In Baba Metzia, Daf Lamed Zayin, where there's a machloket, somebody stole, you gave me $200, you gave me $100, and we don't know who it is, so the Gemara says, Teku, Tishbi, says the Ran, in Chuvas Haran, what does Teku mean, that famous thing? Tishbi yitaretz, kushiyot v'abayot. Tishbi means Eliyahu HaNavi, he's going to come and he's going to answer it. Because he's going to answer all the questions. And the first question he's going to answer, it's late, I don't want to take up so much time, but there's a Mishnah in Eduyot. The last Mishnah in Eduyot, you got a chance, go home and see it. Eliyahu HaNavi, what's he going to do? Mekublani mi bet abotai, says Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. That he heard from Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that he learned from Hillel HaZaken, all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu. They were discussing already when Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Torah, what's Eliyahu HaNavi going to do when he's going to come to tell us Mashiach is coming. And he's going to say the first thing, Ve'eshiv lev avot al banim, ve'lev banim al avotav. The younger generation thinks they're smarter than the older generation. The older generation doesn't get along with the younger generation. He's going to make peace. He's going to make tranquility in the families, tranquility in the communities. The minute everybody feels he's living for a purpose, Ve'eshiv lev avot al banim, he appreciates what Jewish life is. The minute that we really appreciate what Jewish life is, then what happens? Mashiach comes. Mashiach comes. But we only ask for Mashiach, you know when? After we feel that Leila Seder. After we feel the Kiddusha of Leila Seder. Rabbi Leib Steinman was, when he was like in his 90s, he made a trip around Europe. And he saw the Alps. And he started crying. And they say, Rabbi, why are you so fascinated with seeing the Alps? Rabbi Leib Steinman, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, ate a cup of rice for breakfast. He's not going skiing. He said, when I see those beautiful mountains, I see Mashiach coming down these mountains. What do you think, Mashiach is going to come down one of these small mountains? When it says, Man avu aleharim raglei mevaser, how beautiful is the mountain when we see the feet of the mevaser coming and running down. We're waiting for that. We want it to happen soon. On Leila said that why it's called Shabbat HaGadol? Because we could understand the Hinei Anochi Sholeach Lachem Et Eliyahu HaNavi Lifnei Bo Yom HaGadol VaHaNorah. Leila said that it prepares us to have the feelings of what Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to be for us. And if we don't start from this Shabbat preparing, says the Basayin, it's not worth it. You got to put you can't only think about the plov. You can't only think about the steaks. Rabbi, how many steaks could I have before I could have afikoman? Maybe could I have the steaks instead of afikoman? That's my afikoman. Matzah, come on, matzah. Yeah, matzah. Matzah is what you have to. It has to stay in your kishkes. If it doesn't stay in the kishkes, then it's a waste of time. Hashem gives us that gift that we could feel it, but remember to save it. That gift that we have of showing off our money to serve Hashem, connecting with our children and not be busy with shtuyot by Leila Seder, gives us the koach to build Kiddushat Hashem, to build Kvod HaShamayim. We have to thank Morty, a dear friend for quite a few years already now, that his whole ratzon is to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. I don't know if I would go through what he went through, I think I would have given up already. But he doesn't. He's a fighter. Even though he comes across very, very calm. Right? That's what I think. I guess that's the zechut of his parents, that he comes across like that. But Hashem should give this Keilah Kedosha, Ateret Berosham, that they should be growing and growing. Lekadesh Shemo Yitbarach. Remember what's the important things in life, what's the important things we live for, and not get disillusioned with what the media and the world is trying to put us. Shabbat Shalom Umvorach. תזכו לי שנים רבות נעימות וטובות.
Why did you speak in English?
What?